Welcome. Hi everyone. Our goal is to install the infrastructure for development of C++ code on the Windows environment. I mean, while I'm saying the Windows environment, it is actually applicable for any environment, like Mac OS X or Windows or Linux even. So what you need to do, you need to install Visual Studio Code. That's what we are going to use. This Visual Studio Code, you have to install the Visual Studio Code for your operating system. Just go to code.visualstudio.com. That is the link you have to go. Then you click on download for Windows. For it is showing download for Windows because I have a Windows operating system. It could be different for you. So if you click on the drop down, you will see options for Mac OS X, OS, Windows, and Linux. So since we are doing the Windows, and I prefer to use the stable builds, so let's download this one. So once that is downloaded, you got the Visual Studio setup application, and once you open the Visual Studio setup application and go through the installation process, I mean the conversational mode, you will end up with your Visual Studio, which is kind of shown here. So you got it, you got the Visual Studio. Now you go to extensions area. This is a tab here to the left. Click on that tab and you need to get this extension pack, C++ extension pack. So all the directions are actually given here. What you are going to do is for the C++, go to the code.visualstudio.com, the documents under Win64 user, Windows 64 user, you click on C++. So once you go to the C++, you can see your steps for doing development with the C++. So for that, actually, you need to uh, use GCC compiler with MINGW. So here are the prerequisites. So we have installed the Visual Studio Code that is already there. We did install the C++ extension for VS Code. That's what we have done as well. Now we need to install the MinGW W64 toolchain. So we can do that via MSY62, MSys2. So let's click on this link and see where do we head into. So this one, so we reach here and then let's install this one. I mean, just click on this particular download the installer. So your installer is downloaded. Now you can open the installer. Once you do so, you will see something like this. Just a second, let me bring it here. Yeah, here it is. So you have welcome to MSys2 setup. Next. So we can do MSys64. Next. I mean, let's do it the default one, the default version. Let's use the default version of everything, all setup. So it is being installed right now. So we have completed the setup. Now we can finish and run it. If you run it, you will see this screen here. But let's see on Visual Studio Code, what do we end up with? So this is our Visual Studio Code, and now what we can do, we can simply create a terminal. Sorry, we need to create a terminal. So once we get a terminal, let's see if the GCC works there. So this is the terminal we can get by just clicking here. You can create a new terminal, and that is it. Let's create a new terminal. Here is the new terminal. You can see in the towards the bottom. So if you do gcc dash v, there is still no gcc installed, so we have to configure it. The steps to configure gcc is that you have finished it. Now if you click on your MSys2 wizard, you will see this terminal to pop up. So it is similar to this one. Let us expand it a little bit. Now you will probably want to install some tools like this one, gcc to start compiling project. We have to run this command. I mean, you can copy it and paste it here. Just I think we have a redundant dollar sign. So let's do in this way. So we just copied this command and paste it onto this window, and then if we run it, it it does something. It it does some unfolding some packages. Let's say yes to this one. Then it will start installing stuff for us. So it is installing all the GCC stuff, all the essential libraries it is installing so that we can support C++ development on this. I mean, compile a C++ code and run a C++ code here on this terminal. So let's see. So we are done with installation. Now comes the next page. Now you can call GCC here, GCC dash dash version. If you do, you will see there is a GCC here, or you can do G++ dash dash version. So you are also seeing the G++. So here, if you do GCC dash version, you will see a GCC compiler here. Now, let's see, I mean, if we can compile a C++ program. So uh, we do see error. I mean, we still do see errors here. Let's see how we can solve this. So in order to get rid of those error, you have to close the Visual Studio Code and start the Visual Studio Code. Basically, we have installed mingw64. So in order to include that installation into the Visual Studio Code, you have to restart it. So once you do that, let's try to compile a program. So this one, let's pick up randomly any one program. So I picked up one of them. So we can do gcc uh, and then spc2 13.cpp. So that is the command. Uh, so we have error. Possibly we have to use G++. Yeah, that worked. So you have to do G++ and then the program name. So once you do that, let's do it again. So that compiled the program. So if you look at it, you will see there is a file a.exe being created. That is the executable file. You have option to do other way, G++ dash O, and you can say um, spc213.exe. That is your executable file name. And if you do that, you will see that you created this one, this file, and then what you do dot slash So executable file, if you run it, so you will see the result here. So that's pretty much, so that's pretty much what you need to do in order to set up your C++ development environment on your device. So to uh, sum up whatever we have learned here, you install the Visual Studio Code. So these are the path. Install Visual Studio Code. You have to install the C++ extension for VS Code, and then you can install mean GW64 toolchain. For that, actually, we visited this link that leads us here, and then we downloaded that and then executed that. That gives you this type of screen, and you completed the installation. After you completed the installation, you run this program pacman and then all these lines, so that will install the latest GCC version on your desktop. And once you do that, you can just check if the G++ or GCC is correctly installed. So we do see that it is correctly installed, and then go back to your Visual Studio Code and pick up a code, write anything up. I mean, we could simply do as simple as cout hello world, right? And then save the file, and you can now run the file like you can do it in this way. So you are compiled, use the G++ compiler, and if you run the code, you see hello world is printed. So we have installed our first, I mean, we have set up our environment to do the C++ in development, and we can now start enjoying the coding for all the C++ code. Okay, thank you. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. You can comment if you have any feedback. If you like it, you can like it. Please share it with your other friends or colleagues who might be interested in this same subject. Thank you. Bye.